dark light. Don't matter in this motherfucker, you heard? Blame it on the juice, blame it on Patron, blame it on the Jack, it got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the alcohol. I'm fucked up, nigga, I'm twisted.
Welcome back to another episode of A Touch of Messy. I'm Daizha.
I'm Abdul.
And yeah, we're hoping to get a little bit messy. I wanted to check in with you today, per usual, and see how you've been. I know you have your retreat coming up.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that's so
that's
fast.
why I was very much like, today is the last day that we can record before I'm gone for 10 days.
Oh, shoot.
We're going
Good
to be
thing I'm
pre-recording some of the episodes. Why'd you move away like I was going to infect you with retreat, with meditation?
No, I just felt like I wasn't close to my mic.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing I made it today, guys. I almost didn't make it today. I literally texted him at like 8 p.m. last night. You guys know I have stomach issues, and
Everybody's really aware.
Your girl was backed up like Trader Joe's on a Sunday.
Oh.
It was really scary. I thought I was going to go to the hospital, but by the grace of God, I was saved. I took every supplement in my pantry. I drank coffee. I did laxative. Your girl was on a mission. And I'm here today, so obviously you know what that means. Flat tummy.
So you're saying you were able to poop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. What did it take?
I have constipation. There's two types of IBS. I have the one where you can't use the bathroom. But
How
I'm working
long,
on it.
How backed up were you? How many days worth of?
Years, probably. I don't want to talk about it.
Years worth of poop? You haven't pooped in years?
Okay, we're done. That's all on the poop.
It's crazy. Shortly after you send that message, I had a feeling of needing to go to the bathroom, and I had an amazing poop.
Wow.
Right around that same time. So
I
it's
just
kind
need
of
you to
like
not whisper about it. I need you to talk louder.
It was like a I stand with you type situation.
It felt like there was a fist in my butt. I don't know what that feels like, but I imagine that's what it would feel like. Honestly, I think that if you know me, you know I'm afraid to give birth, but I think that I did yesterday.
Are you less afraid of giving birth after yesterday?
Yes.
Wow.
I think everything happens for a reason, and I think that God knew I was afraid to have a baby, and so he's like, I'm going to prepare this girl for birth.
How many pounds do you think it was?
Oh, God, a good 10.
10 pounds of poop? Dude, you must have felt so good afterwards.
I did. I took a shower and everything. Gosh. Because I also took a bath beforehand, So, yeah, anyways, I could not wait. This is how good I felt, right? I could have been like, oh, we're not going to film the podcast. It's almost midnight right now, and I already told these guys that I'm not going to make it. But I was feeling so good on cloud 9 that I texted them. I was like, see you guys, 10 a.m. sharp.
I woke up to that message. I was like, whoa, go Daizha.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt good. So anyways.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to work towards getting one of those soundboards. Mm-hmm. If we had one right now, I'd click the applause button and the fart stuff as well.
Ew. You're the only one that farts on camera.
Hey, there's sometimes where you have a stomach ache and either a fart or a poop makes you feel so much better. So I can relate to you, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, me too.
We almost lost you to constipation.
No, honestly, my biggest fear on the planet Earth, and probably why I psych myself out when using the bathroom, is that I'm going to die on the toilet like Elvis. By myself. I literally feel like I would be like, huh, and then just fall over. And it's the scariest thing ever. And I start to sweat, and I just I got to stop this, and I have to get off the toilet. I'm not kidding.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Me too.
And thank you for doing it. I feel like I texted everybody this weekend, hey, let's do. I looked at the schedule and looked at how many episodes we have, and in wanting to be consistent, very last second asked everybody to pull up on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday morning.
There you go, talk chewing again.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we got today?
Well, so is that our check-in? You're good? Nothing else you want to share for?
No, I'm excited to go on this retreat.
Okay.
Feels like I was really nervous for the last month, but the less time in between actually going to the retreat, the more excited I am. I like knowing that I can quit at any point, so I'm not going.
Oh, you can?
I can just leave.
Oh, snap.
I'm not going to rehab or jail.
Not this time, huh?
Not this time. So I think knowing that I can leave gives me some solace. And if it gets really, really bad on day 3, I don't need to just lose my mind for the next 7 days. I know a couple people that have done it and quit like 4 days in. So my goal is to make it to day 5. And if I feel like leaving after day 5, yeah.
Okay. I love that.
Just got my new meditation pillow. Why did you look at? Washed my sheets.
Why did I just look?
With such a disgusted look on your face.
I said. You know what it is, Abdul? I realized, because I watch back, when I like watch our videos and stuff, I watch back and I crack up at your parts of the podcast because you're so funny. But while we're here filming, I can't hear shit you say sometimes. So like you'll say something and I'll watch on the video. I have no reaction. But like when I'm like watching the video by myself at home, I'm like, damn, that's actually so funny. Like, good job, Abdul.
Thank you. There's a couple of jokes that I just say into the mic that I know that will be funny later, but you're not supposed to hear it.
Okay, well, you just start talking all quiet and monotone, and I literally start thinking about everything.
I was talking to somebody recently, and they said that I've gotten so much more like relaxed.
Vocal?
Not vocal. They said I've gotten so much more relaxed since they knew me a couple years ago, and they were worried that I was like just taking a bunch of Xanax.
It's the Xanax, guys.
It's not the Xanax.
It's not the Xanax.
I don't even like to take Xanax. Yeah, what is Xanax really?
What is Xanax really?
But I'm just a chill guy.
I guess.
I thought this was cool. I thought people liked nonchalant.
No. Okay, so you think people like nonchalantness and sneaky links? Guys, this is Seattle. Don't move here.
I had actually that clip. I loved how it was cut because in the beginning of the clip, you're like, oh, sneaky links can be healthy. I'm like, oh, you're right, Daisha, I agree with you. And then you're like, well, at 31, that's crazy.
No, people can have healthy relationships with their sneaky link is what I said. I was like, they can have healthy. But you were like thinking that it's a like, it doesn't have to be negative. No, if two people have a mutual agreement in whatever type of relationship they want to be in, that's healthy. Cool.
And I agreed. And you called me 31 years old.
You are 31 years old.
Don't say it so loud.
But like to support yourself having a sneaky link is wild at 31. But if you watch the full video, he did say no to sneaky links at the end. So I'll give you that. Yeah. We talked him out of it. Yeah. It was a hard pull, but we got him there.
And I'm a little disappointed that not more people came at you for your comments, your terrible advice, your toxic advice.
Yeah, that was some terrible advice, guys. Sorry, I'm just over here looking at Deshaun. Is it Deshaun or Deshaun?
Dude, you are all over the place today.
Okay, well, whatever. Speaking of all over the place, I know. It's the energy, the new energy now that all these toxins have left my body.
Damn.
Yes.
You were really being held. This is like Limitless, but instead of the pill, you just don't have 20 pounds of shit inside you.
No, literally. Do you remember how all like our last few podcasts, I'm like, how do you guys have energy? Like, how do you guys do it? Like today, I could walk to the flippin' moon. That's how good I feel, guys. I feel so good. So anyways.
Walk to the flippin' moon.
I could walk to the flippin' moon.
Language.
So I thought, today's topic is going to be called A Walk Through Memory Lane, Our First Times. But before we get into that, we're going to play a little game of truth or drink. So I'm going to go ahead and give you two and me two.
Let's do it.
And if you want to make it like a little bit spicier, you can trade me your first card or you can keep it.
Do I get to look at the card first? You can look
at it first. Okay. And you can trade or keep it. I'll let you decide.
Oh.
Only one. Yeah. The question for Abdul is, if you learn that every time you masturbate, one of your close friends would shit their pants, would you alter your behavior?
Yes. I think I would do it hoping that statistically it would land on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if
I'm going strong.
Exactly. Even if it means having all my other close friends shitting their pants. I'm sorry, Jordan, that you're going to be shitting your pants, but we're doing it for Daisha.
You're doing it for the betterment of Daisha's gut health. And also, every time I would do it, I'd be like, dang it, Abdul.
I think I would like post it on my close friend story, but like, hey, y'all, about to masturbate in 10 minutes.
Oh, God.
Be somewhere safe, because hopefully you're not doing something important.
That's insane.
Just give it like a little warning. I'll make it like an app that warns people that the shit is about to happen. Or just like lose friendships in my life. Just cut everybody off and move to a cabin in the woods. Go. That sounds nice.
Just be masturbating the whole time in the cabin in the woods.
I guess I could just not masturbate. I didn't even think of that as an option. Yeah. Let me read this one for you.
Okay.
Daizha, what's something you used to consider a relationship red flag but don't anymore, and what changed your mind?
I would say I used to think it was a relationship red flag if like a guy had a problem with a girl like hanging out one-on-one with guy friends like a lot, and like didn't really have their own like girl and guy friends. I have dated people who have been like, oh, like guys only want one thing, and relationships between girls and guys cannot be platonic. And I don't think that that's true. I think you can completely have a platonic friendship, but I do think that there is a level of maturity that comes with being in a relationship. And I do think that like it should shift a little bit in dynamic depending on, like, if you're someone like me. I have so many guy friends that I'll just go to their house and like just hang out in their bedroom and things like that. Like nothing inappropriate happens at all. Like we're all so close. But like if I have a partner, I wouldn't want that for myself. I wouldn't want a guy just like in a girl's bedroom, like one-on-one, depending on how close they are too, right? If they're, really, really good, friends for a long time, then I don't really care. But, if it's just like a casual friend, like maybe a little flirtation has happened. Like there's just boundaries. So I used to think boundaries. I used to think that like certain boundaries around like opposite sex was a red flag. But now I actually think that I need them for whoever I would want to be with in a relationship. You know what I mean? Do you feel weird about that? Do you feel if you had a girlfriend and she was like hanging out with her guy friend late at night in his bedroom, would that like weird you out a little bit?
I think in an ideal relationship, it wouldn't weird me out.
It wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, in an ideal relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'm looking for that ideal relationship.
Okay.
Where there's just like complete security, where I'm like, all right, this person is mine. And I think there's value to having opposite sex friends.
Of course.
Especially working in the film industry. A lot of the work that happens because of friendships. So if I was like, I can't be friends with any women.
Wait,
then
where are you getting that from? Can't be friends with any women. That's not what I said.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. Boundaries, I said, around certain, opposite sex relationships. Oh. And I said, because, for example, I might have I said it would be different if they're like close friends for a long time versus like a newer friend, like a casual friend. But like being in a bedroom by yourself at night with an opposite sex when you have a partner, that's just not the kind of relationship that I want to be in. I only would date someone that I trust fully, but I do think that there's so much like people make it sound like boundaries are a red flag, and I don't think that there are. I don't think that they are. Mm-hmm. And me personally, I've been in relationships where people would hang out late at night with the opposite sex, and things could happen or would happen, or they start drinking and things like that. And I would love to be with the person that wouldn't put me in that situation to feel uncomfortable, even though we trust each other.
Sounds like some work that you need to do if you're feeling uncomfortable, but you say that you trust each other.
See, and you know what? I'm very curious what the world thinks, because I think that that's completely fair. But I also think, again, I don't necessarily align with a lot of like how many people in Seattle view dating and relationships. Like at my big age, I want to get married here soon. I want to be, a mother one day, things like that. And I just think that if I pictured my husband in some woman's house and in her room, hanging out, drinking, whatever, in her bedroom, like that's so we can we can totally disagree on this. That's fine.
Let's disagree.
And
I would say,
and that's the kind of stuff that I would deal with, chat, where people would make me feel like, oh, like you're not secure in your relationship if you have a problem with someone hanging out with someone one-on-one in their bedroom, opposite sex, that you're wanting to be your husband. That's crazy.
it is what it is.
You stand on it? You stand on it? Mind you, I'm not talking about an open relationship. I'm not talking about non-monogamous. I'm talking about a monogamous, you and me are together relationship.
I know. I've been in relationships where that trust wasn't there. And whenever a situation like that would happen, it would be this thing of like, oh, this person's out with that person. I wonder what they're doing. And I think at the end of the day, there's like a bigger issue that needs to be resolved from that one. I think just being like, hey, I don't trust that you will do something behind my back, so you're not allowed to be in this situation. Like at the end of the day, if like the love is there and the trust is there, you could be surrounded by naked people. And I know that you're for me. I know that you're not going to disrespect me or do that.
I'm not talking about an unhealthy relationship.
If the only thing stopping the person from cheating on you is the opportunity to cheat on you, then there's some issues to solve there.
The problem isn't cheating. Cheating is not my fear in those moments. It's the amount of respect that I would want my partner to have for me. And like, I wouldn't want to be with someone who is thinking that it's okay to be up late at night and these are things that have happened to me. To be up late with the opposite sex, one-on-one, drinking alcohol, whatever. Now, mind you, this is not going to get dinner. This is not going to get lunch. This is not doing an event.
What about breakfast?
This is literally, my example that I gave is like pretty specific. And I think there's a lot of like hurt that you're speaking from, it sounds like, or like past traumas from it, because you're like,
me or you?
No. I already admitted that this is something that I've been through, but I'm saying like how you're you're kind of a little like not defensive. I don't know if that's the best word, but like you're like, well, if something like that happens or this boundary is placed, then like maybe there's like a deeper problem in the relationship, and I don't think that that's true, because even going and looking for a relationship, I have it in my head the type of man that I want to be with. This is before any kind of hurt or trauma has come across, and I want to be with someone that is equally, like they equally see for themselves what I see for myself. It doesn't have to be the same exact thing, but like we're equal in what this partnership is going to look like.
Yeah.
But you are from Seattle, so...
You're from Lake Stevens. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, oh man, this is good. We gotta have to talk about more relationship stuff. This is so good. We're so opposite, and we view relationships so differently. And yeah, so like, okay, what are some like boundaries that you would set in a relationship then? What are boundaries? And I feel like you're being dishonest a little bit, because I know you have some boundaries in a relationship. So, like, what are some boundaries that you feel as a man?
This feels like a threat. You're like, I know what
the
answer is.
No, I'm not going to say it,
so
but I'm like, we're supposed to be open and honest. You over here trying to make me seem crazy. And I'm like, I know you've had some boundaries.
What are some boundaries? I think the boundary depends on the relationship that I am with the person. And
see,
the
but
boundaries
if you stand
form
for nothing,
based on the person. Like, if this person has a history of getting drunk and sleeping around with people, I've been like, all right, well, the boundary is that you probably shouldn't get drunk around other people. But then again, that falls back to do I want to be in a relationship with somebody that I need to worry about, like where they are and what they're doing, and if they're disrespecting me or representing the relationship in a bad way. I want my next relationship to just be nothing but peace, and for us to be an addition to each other's life. And being worried about what somebody's doing or what somebody's at doesn't sound like peace to me.
Who's worried?
You.
No, oh my gosh. I really feel like I'm speaking one language and you're speaking a different language.
Is this because I'm Kenyan?
But I know that it's because you view relationships different than me. You say that like your boundaries change based on the person, and I think that's absolutely bonkers. No offense. But like
language.
I have my boundaries for myself that are non-negotiables for me. And maybe if I find a person that I'm dating and I learn a lot about them and I'm like, actually, this boundary doesn't feel necessary for myself anymore at this stage in my life, I can change it. But to change your boundaries based off of
here's my counter
people
to
just
that.
feels crazy to me. I don't know.
Here's my counter to that. If you're dating somebody that pop-in extroverted guy has gone to the club, hooks up with a bunch of people, versus you're dating somebody that doesn't really go out, goes out every once in a while, you'd set a boundary for like, hey, when you do go out, just make sure you're representing me well. If you're dating person A that was popping his shit for years before I met you versus person B that never really went out, you're like, do what you got to do. Go have fun. Go to the stadium. Go get shots. It doesn't really matter.
No, the boundary still is the same for both people to me. Just because one person, first of all, I wouldn't knowingly get into a relationship with someone who I feel and see is living a life that crosses my boundaries, because I don't get in relationships wanting people to change. That's why I think that's where people go wrong a lot of the time. The second thing is a person that's an introvert and a person that's an extrovert. I'm not about to penalize one person for who they are and like push another person to like get out of their comfort. No, what I'm thinking is my boundary is if my partner goes out to a club, I don't want them to do X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter which partner it is. If you go to a club, these are the boundaries in general. Like, now, mind you, I'm not just going and telling people like, hey, you can't do this. I don't ever tell someone what they can and can't do. But I always express, hey, these are things that make me uncomfortable. And I let people show up how they're going to show up. You need that retreat. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
I want to be judged and treated for.
Did you see Deshaun roll his eyes at me? You're agreeing with him.
You've been saying a lot of eye-rolly stuff this episode. Yeah.
Talk.
No. Let me finish my point. And then I want to hear. I personally want to be judged off of base of what I do. If somebody, I feel like a lot of boundaries that are set in some relationships, at least stuff that I've experienced, is based off of traumas that other person has dealt with. Just because your ex was a shitty person, I don't want to feel like I'm dealing with the brunt of like, oh shit, your ex did this. Now these boundaries about me just existing this normal life that I've existed before you has to change for me to appease you. I'd rather you deal with your shit. You go. I'll help you deal with that stuff, but don't make me change who I am just to appease this insecurity or this trauma that you have based on past relationships.
So it sounds like the problem is, because right there you're expressing a boundary. It sounds like the problem is there's two people who get into a relationship who didn't express their boundaries up front, and they got into a relationship hoping to change each other. Like, that's what it is. You're saying, I shouldn't have to do this because your ex did that. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm saying at all. This has nothing to do with it. Like, now, actually, let me correct myself. I think our life experiences have a lot to do with how we allow people to show up in our lives. But what I'm saying is, I don't get into a relationship with someone, let's say this party guy or whatever. I would never do that.
Party next door.
Let's say I got into a relationship with that person. I already know, you should know what that person's like and what they're bringing to the table before you decide to hop in a relationship with them. And at that point, they should know what you're like. So to get into a relationship with me, someone who you know wants to have a family, wants to get married, I voiced these things before I'm anyone's girlfriend or boyfriend. And then decide I'm going to go out every single night, like switch up and start doing that, that's disrespectful. But I already have them in my mind. I wouldn't date a person who doesn't align with what I see for myself, because I don't expect anyone to change for me. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It feels like a different conversation of like, that's like, oh, the boundaries wouldn't bother them anyway because the person I'm dating would view this as something that...
Am I speaking Portuguese?
No, you speak English. Are you listening to me is the real question.
All right, go ahead.
I'm just saying, what you're saying is, if a person is interested in being in a relationship with you, they should know that you want to have kids, you want to be a family person, you want to do these things, and they shouldn't do these things to disrespect you. Yes or no? If no, why no?
I guess you could say I just have hesitancy around the shouldn't, because again, I don't want to tell someone what they should or shouldn't do. My boundaries are very clear up front. Like, these things hurt me. I don't like these things. I don't want to be in this type of situation. I'm hesitant. So you're right, but I just don't want to say like shouldn't, because it sounds like your experience is someone saying like you need to do this now and because of this, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm very much just saying like anyone that dates me knows the type of girl that I am, and so if I see them move in a disrespectful way, like I'm out. Yeah, I'm not trying to change them.
And I guess that's stuff that you figure out in the talking stage that you hate so much. Is
the dating stage.
You get to talk to somebody and figure out what their values and what their standards are. I agree. Psych.
Anyways, that was
vote.
Hot.
Who's
right?
Who's right, Mr. Right or Daisha?
Actually, we're in Seattle, so I already know everyone's gonna probably agree with you.
You've been shitting on Seattle all day today.
It's not just. Can I
say what you said before the podcast started?
No, but I don't have a Seattle mindset. I feel like
What is a Seattle mindset?
And there's nothing wrong with Seattle.
Just say it, bro.
No, listen, there's nothing wrong with Seattle. But in Seattle, people are loud and proud and vocal about the things that they feel, and they want everyone's voice to be heard and XYZ. And I think that's great. I think, though, that when it comes to relationships, there is a fluidity in relationships here that I was not used to. Like, I had just learned about what open relationships and how open relationship is different from a poly relationship. And, like, I found that when I first started dating in Seattle specifically, my experience was different than dating in Arizona, dating in, New Mexico, dating in even Lake Stevens. I think people are just more free, and they want the freeness in their relationships more. And there's nothing wrong with freedom in a relationship. You should feel free. But I think that you can achieve that same freeness with still having boundaries for yourself. And I think that sometimes people mix freedom with, like, they confuse freedom with lack of boundaries. What?
I think that's you imposing something on other people.
No, it's my own experience of dating people in Seattle.
You just don't date poly people. Don't date people that do open relationships.
I literally don't. I don't. But, like, it does come up sometimes. Like, for example, in Seattle, I've been across, like, guys I've dated have been like, oh, dude, I want to see you two kiss. Like, I want to see this girl kiss her best friend and things like that. I try to tell somebody that in a different state, they're like, heck no, that's weird. Like, a relationship should be between
generalization.
It is a general, we're talking about my generalization right now. Damn. But I already expressed, I don't think this is everybody in Seattle, but because I'm living in Seattle, right? And it's not me, but I'm saying a lot of people that I've either dated or even I haven't dated, but they're in their own relationship, we just have different, like, core values. And I'm not saying, here's the thing. I have friends who are in relationships and they're completely open. That's okay. If you and your partner have an understanding of, like, what you guys are doing, then great. That's good. But I'm just not in the business of trying to change my values or what I want. And for the longest, I had people try to convince me that I was being, like, a certain way. And you just got to find people who match your energy. Mm-hmm. And my energy is not Seattle.
Okay. I want to pull up some statistics for everybody. There's 755,000 people in Seattle. And I tried to find out a statistic on polyamory in general. I can't find a hard number, but just based on the fact that there's close to 750,000 people here, I think there's people out there for you. I don't fuck with the polyamory or the open relationship stuff. I don't feel like I've had an issue. Like, it's like, oh, everybody's trying to do this open relationship thing. Everybody's trying to do this. In Arizona, nobody does that. You just gotta look for what you're looking for. One person. You have 755,000 people to choose from. There's somebody there for you. Don't shit on Seattle dating. Seattle, I'm with you. Kraken, stand up.
Mind you, he's single.
Macklemore,
Mind you,
stand
he's
up.
single. Mind you, you're single though, right? And you date, and you get girls. Like, people be hitting on you. But the thing is, I think it's harder for
that was unnecessary to add.
People be hitting. I've been seeing it. But I'm just saying, it's like, it is slim pickings in Seattle. I think that's why you're single. I think that's why I've been single for the longest freaking time. It is slim pickings in Seattle because people have so much trauma, or people try to, put their own. I try to get into relationships as healthy as I possibly can. I try not to carry stuff into my relationships. And I think that
Sounds like you're carrying something.
No, it doesn't. It literally doesn't.
Okay.
But this is exactly what I mean, right? People will, like I said earlier, there is not a problem with you viewing relationships how you want to. If you want to be in a relationship and you want to be able to hang out with XYZ girl, you can do that. If you're in a relationship with someone that allows that. Me specifically, I want to limit that for myself. I don't see a problem with what you've got going on. I just don't want to do that. And I feel like a majority of people in Seattle would agree with how you view things. But that's why I know that I am I just don't view it that way. And that's why I got to find my people outside of Seattle.
And you did?
That's fair. Anyways, this was a long-winded conversation, but it was good. I'm glad that we could get it all out.
Yeah, I like when we don't agree.
Me too.
I was on a radio show where me and the other person agreed with each other all the time. And it was the most boring shit ever. I forgot we're still playing Truth or Drink.
My turn.
Okay. Is that a question that you're going to ask me or ask yourself? Because I thought we had cards.
I don't know what this means.
Are you going to read that to me?
So that's your card that you have to answer, and this is my card that I have to answer. So.
Why don't we read it for each other, though?
Okay. That was so stupid.
Do you want to ask me that question?
I don't know the word. What's the most what does that mean?
Ardocious? Ardous?
What's the most artist journey you've suffered through just to get laid?
Arduous, involving or requiring strenuous effort, difficult or tiring.
Just to get laid.
The example, it says Daizha pooping last night. It's very specific. Arduous journey to get laid.
There's no in, but yeah.
It's been a long journey, and I'd say I didn't lose my virginity really until I was 19 or 20, and I'd say 20 years.
Me too.
Has been I feel like I was trying to lose my virginity once I turned 16. So from 16 to 20 was an arduous.
Let me put it in you.
Arduous
what do you
journey.
mean you're trying?
Just trying to flirt with people, trying to Google on WikiHow how to talk to girls and all this stuff. Dude, I was not a pretty kid. Pre-Daizha and Abdul wasn't popping. And I went to an aviation high school. We had 44 people in our class. Most of them were dudes. So it was slim pickings. That's why I think dating in Seattle isn't as bad, because I came from the trenches of dating.
Well, you're also over 6 feet, so people are gonna flock to you.
Yeah.
Me,
get out of this victim mentality, Daizha.
I'm not.
You're
it's
fine.
not victim mentality. Don't worry.
Your height has nothing to do with how dateable that you are.
I'm not checking for them either. It's just not a thing. I've gone on some dates and stuff out here too.
Yeah, you haven't. I was about to say, for somebody that's complaining about dating in Seattle, you haven't had a problem getting dates in Seattle.
Yeah, no, I just have a problem with alignment.
With alignment?
Alignment.
Argents.
And I don't like to force things. I'm not about to stay into a situation too long. No. One thing about me. Bye, bye, bye.
My answer to the card before we get off topic is, I think from 16 to 20, just trying to present myself as worthy of love has been my journey.
Love that.
Yeah.
You are worthy of love.
Thanks.
Well, while we're going down memory lane, we'll ask a few questions, and then I want to go back.
I have a question for you before we go.
Okay.
Big news. The world is definitely going to end in your lifetime. Does this affect your views on monogamy? What a perfect card. By the way, Jordan picked out all these cards. Thank you.
It does not affect my view on monogamy. I think that someone that is for everyone is not for me. That's just how I view it.
The world is ending in a week.
Yeah, let me just catch something before it goes down. No.
That is the perfect time to catch something.
No.
Yeah. What do you do? What are we
Seattle.
not catching something for?
Seattle.
It ends
this
in a
y'all
week.
boy? This y'all boy?
It ends in a week.
No. I'm sorry. What you do in your last moments are very defining of your character.
You think you're going to carry chlamydia to the afterlife?
You're going to hell for that.
That's
terrible.
I'm going to Google it right now. Does chlamydia follow you to the after.
Okay, I want you to pull up. So we're doing nostalgia. I want to see exactly why Abdul wasn't getting laid. So can you open up?
It doesn't. The Google says it doesn't.
Okay.
Cleveland Clinic says you don't get chlamydia if you pass on. What am I looking up?
Go to your Facebook.
My Facebook. Whoa.
And I want to see what your Facebook memories are today.
For today?
Yep.
15 years ago today, I went to my first concert ever. And it was Pac Div and the Cool Kids at, I think, Showbox.
So I was
Crazy.
a little bit younger than you. So my last post 14 years ago was, oh, God, I hate medicine. It's nasty, especially when your mom purposely gets the unsleepy kind. So I've always had a thing for sleepy meds.
You've always been on that lean.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
use
it.
Facebook as like a journal.
I used to, I guess. I wasn't
Damn.
as cool as you, apparently.
Dude,
right.
I'm just like traveling the world, going to concerts, just interacting with
wasn't allowed to leave
friends,
the
going go-karting. This was a fun trip down memory lane. Good times.
Well, you end it. You never end it.
Well, I do end it sometimes. I used to ghost people, but now I'm working on being better and like ending things. Just like I do end relationships, I'm going to end this podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope this free piece of content was good enough for your liking. If not, just send me an email and I'll work on being a better person for you. So the next time you consume this free content, it's like, oh, I didn't waste my time and my money. Well, you didn't spend any money for it, but I'm sorry this wasn't good enough for you.
Why?
Hey,
No,
I'm just from Seattle. What can I say?
Abdul, this is Abdul. He's his truest self in his truest form. I'm going to go eat some of his baklava. Bye, guys.